WPIAL podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network. Our postseason podcast is presented by Edgar Snyder and Associates, helping local people or helping injured people that are local since 1982. Go local, go with Edgar Snyder and Associates. Once again, as you see, edgarsnyder.com. They have been tremendous supporters of high school sports, including our postseason coverage here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Football, the beauty of football, whether you are a average fan or you've played or coached the game, no matter what level, your IQ is high for the game. Everybody knows it's the ultimate team game. Sometimes when we're doing our players of the week, I kind of feel bad because knowing that player wouldn't have done what he or she did once we get into winter sports without the help of their teammates. But, man, what a team performance on both ends in the WPL Class 5A championship game. We've kind of expected great things and great drama in 5A when we get to Acrisure Stadium. We've seen it for the last 10 years since that classification was formed, and we saw it again on Saturday. Peters Township comes from behind, defeats Pine Richland 20-19. They play hot potato with the WPL championship. It's back in the South Hills of Peters Township. Their outstanding head coach, TJ Plack, is kind enough to join us. TJ, we were just talking a little bit before we got started. Congratulations on what really is going to be a game that a lot of people talk about for a long time just because of how it went down.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on. Wasn't as we expected it to be, but definitely the ending is what we wanted to. But great game. I watched a little bit of it, early yesterday actually, and just the announcement of it, and it was exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. Incredible first half for Pine Richland. Incredible second half for Peters Township. Let's talk about that aspect first. The first half when Pine Richland was able to jump out to a 19-0 lead by halftime. The offense really did nothing for Peters Township. The defense, I thought, even though they allowed the 3 scores, I thought, especially in hindsight, knowing that you guys were able to come back and win, that the defense, which has been so good all year long, really did a good job because it could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back at it and you watch the game again, our defense did a really good job.
Yeah.
It's hard to contain their quarterback. He is extremely elusive, quick, and we had tried to hunt him down a couple times, and they extended drives because of him. And offensively, we weren't helping out at all. Even when we had bad field position, but even when we did have a decent field, plan A and plan B was not working. John does a great job over there on the defense. Really gave us fits. We had a couple missed assignments. Nothing was going our way. But the defense, limiting them to 19 points in the first half was truly important because offensively we gave no help whatsoever.
We had just seen, a lot of times I thought in whole the 4 games at Acrisure really held up because, we build them up as media members, and then sometimes they're a big swing and a miss, and you get 4 championship games that are, ho-hum. But especially after watching Avonworth dismantle Imani Christian the game before, at halftime, I'm sure a lot of people outside of that Indians locker room thought, this could be a mercy roll game by the time all was said and done. 18 first half plays, 38 yards, only 2 first downs. And again, you sort of summed it up on both sides of the ball, why it was 19-0 at the half. But, you mentioned plan A, plan B didn't work. What was talked about in the locker room, I'm sure it was a positive spin and that there was no, 3 scores with the explosiveness of your offense. isn't something that, we have no chance, but something had to change. What was talked about?
Yeah, really nothing. Like it was quiet. It was quiet. I met with the offensive guys briefly, and then I heard nothing in the locker room. So I walked in, and I just told the guys, I go, "Hey, listen, we messed up. That's uncharacteristic of us." I called a screen the wrong way. We had a couple missed assignments, blocking and running the ball. I go, we can feel sorry for ourselves, or we can get back on the horse and come out and play like we normally do. Scratch and claw and maybe get a score. We had the ball first, maybe get a score, and who knows, get back into it. Motivation is and momentum is everything in football, in all sports. And we caught it, and it just kept going and going and going. And that second half felt great. It really did. And you always play 4 quarters. We lost the first 2, but we won the second 2.
What you mentioned momentum in sports, and I totally agree, especially at the scholastic level. It could change on a dime. You see teams like, say, in basketball, jump out to a 16-3 lead after 1 quarter, and then it's a dogfight in the end because momentum has switched over. As a coach, you kind of obviously can sense when you have it, when you don't. Is there anything you can do one way or another if you either feel it coming your way or you feel it slipping away? Can you do anything as a coach to sort of stave that off?
Well, you do. You sure try. You sure try to stop it. Try to get a first down. Try to stop them on a 3rd down. We had to. I believe. I think I'm correct. We had to go for it on 4th down twice, and we had 2 big passes. I'm a guy that's going to punt and play defense for sure. But they put in those positions where we couldn't get the first down those first 3 plays, and we had to throw the ball on 4th down twice to sustain drives. And so we were just trying to keep that momentum going, keep the drive going. We were on that end of it, but to stop it, man, you do everything in your power to do so. And sometimes it is getting that next first down, keeping the other team off the field.
Pendulum started coming your way. 3rd quarter, Cole Newpaver, who's had himself a tremendous season, your ace running back, 74-yard touchdown run. I mean, sometimes momentum can go the other way on a nice, long, sustained drive where you're just shoving it down their throat 6-7 yards at a time, but a splash play helps as well.
Yeah, what a young man. What a young man. I'm glad he decided to play football again. Just a low center of gravity, top end speed, powerful, smart, tough. He plays both sides of the ball, doesn't come off. We try to limit his reps on special teams, but no, that was probably plan A for us last year. We played them was the draw game with our quarterback and with him, and we did hit him on a draw right there. So just gave us the belief. You know what I mean? Noni down, and then we should have probably went for 2 right there. Afterwards, I was kicking myself in the butt. I wanted to get that score to 11 points and not 12, and then we had a bad snap anyway, so we only got 6 points out of it. Right. So, yeah, that was just the first of grabbing that momentum and keeping it.
Yeah, that was the start of a big second half for Cole. His story's been kind of well documented by now, where he was playing hockey, focused on hockey, and then decided to come back and play with his buddies for football. And of course, this program, the uber success that you have had over the last few years, is that something where people were talking to him to try to bring him back, or was that just something that a gift that fell into your lap?
We were definitely talking to him. We weren't, but our players, he lives.
Sure.
He lives in Peters, and it was just, remember how good you were. And his dad was a really good football player here at Peters Township as well. So the guys just got in his ear, and he came out, played half the year last year, and then had an injury. But he really had a great off season, and man, it was a little bit of both. But our guys are pretty persuasive.
Yeah, tough to get going, but eventually he did 107 yards and 3 touchdowns. He pulled the second touchdown coming that pulled you guys to within a score in the fourth quarter on a 22-yard run. And then you guys get the big turnover again, that defense flying to the football, create the turnover. And as time's winding down, you had to feel pretty good at that. You still had to score. You're still trailing, but Cole finally pokes it in from a yard. Just talk about that whole final sequence.
Yeah, I mean, our defense, as we've mentioned a couple times, they do such a good job. Very opportunistic, able to get that turnover, and I think we had a short field. We had a couple penalties on that one, pass interference and things like that took us down inside the 10. We're able to get a first down, I think, inside the 4, if I'm correct, and scored on our second play. And I know maybe he wasn't in, maybe he wasn't, but he was, and we still had an extra 2 plays that we could have tried to punch it in also. But just extremely tough. We didn't have a lot of success. I know Cole had 110, 78 on one play, but our run game inside the 10-yard line has been pretty good all year, and we were able to establish that and put the ball in.
Anthony, you talked about the bad snap on the first extra point try. Anthony Maiello, extra point after the 22-yarder, and of course the difference, the extra point on the third touchdown that put you guys up, and that turned out to be pretty significant too, because I guess they had some injuries. Most teams now, even some of the smaller classifications, have somebody that, that's the one aspect that in the last 10, 20 years has really changed, where a kicker is now a weapon on offense for a lot of teams. But it's sort of like they say about the long snapper. You don't really appreciate it until there's an issue, there's a problem, there's an injury, and then all of a sudden you're kind of in scramble mode, and that's apparently what the Rams were in.
Yeah, those players are pivotal. We had a long snapper for 3 years, 21, 22, 23, and then he graduated, and then it's like last year was like, oh darn, like who's going to long snap? So everybody was trying out, and we had 2 guys that we just weren't sure of, and Nolan DeLucia was like, let me try this, and of course he's good at it. And our quarterback, he plays offense, defense, and he long snaps for us. He doesn't do the PAT field goal. That was somebody else. But no, they are so critical to the game. Upper St. Clair, their kicker, he kicks it in the end. He kicks it in the end zone every time. Yeah. That whole week we played St. Clair. Every time we play St. Clair, when we run our offense, we run it from the 20 coming out all the time, because I want the kids to feel we're going to be backed up. We're not going to have good field position all night because of this kicker. So yeah, they are pivotal. They truly changed the landscape of the game.
Nolan DeLucia, your senior quarterback, 5 of 12, 76 yards. But I thought he really was one of the standouts. There were so many contributors on the defensive side of the ball. He ends up with 8 tackles. Lucas Rost ends up with 7 tackles. Reston Lehman, 9 tackles and a sack. And oh my goodness gracious, James Spratt had plenty of splat. 22 tackles, including a half sack. The defense was, especially in the second half, was phenomenal.
Yeah, James, we heard that about James after the game, that he had 20-some tackles, and we all looked at each other. We're like, yeah, I guess so. He was everywhere. Every time there was a big stop, he was in on it. He's another one that just what a season he's had.
Yeah.
He played nose tackle for us last year. One of our guys was hurt, so he went in. We had a middle linebacker, so he played nose for us probably 10 out of our 12 games. And this year it was his turn to start at middle linebacker, and he's fast, strong, smart, relentless. He just does a fantastic job, and all 3 of our linebackers are outstanding. We are so lucky to have them.
5 shutouts this season for this defense, and holding talented teams like Bethel Park, Upper St. Clair from the Allegheny Six Conference, and even into the postseason. limiting what they were able to do. 56 points allowed in the first 7 games, 46. It really is a sum of the parts, right? I mean, you have outstanding talent on that side of the ball, but really together, and they've been playing together for a while, some of these guys. It's a suffocating defense. It's just no room. Like a lot of times, as you mentioned earlier, Pine Richland was uh, was able to get some things done offensively, just thanks in part to the great athleticism of Aaron Strader. But the way you guys um, crash to the ball, so to speak, is just really fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's unique. It really is. Our coaches on that side of the ball have developed this and just are so they're so in tune with our players. We've never been the biggest team, and I think that helps our defensive line. We can get some penetration. Our outside linebackers are just long and aggressive. Our secondary, we have a 3 safety system, and they all can cover and tackle, which is very difficult at times. Sometimes you can get a corner that can cover, but he's no good in the run game. But we've had 5 guys for the last couple of years that can do both of them. So our guys put them in the right position. As they always say, they always give them the answers to the test before the game. And and they take so much pride in playing for those coaches over there that it's fun to coach. It's fun to watch also.
Unveil some secret sauce for those who are watching and wondering. I used to have some great conversations with the former athletic director at Peters Township, the legendary Joe Mays, and I've asked him a couple times about why the struggles in football when Peters Township sports, they were awesome in basketball, awesome in soccer, awesome in baseball. The athletics and the athletes were there, but they always struggled in football, and that has changed. And of course, it has changed under your watch. Now in your 10th year, in this decade alone, 4 trips to the WPIAL 5A finals with 2 gold medals and 2 silver, all 4 against Pine Richland, ironically enough. What has been this isn't just a special group coming through. We've seen several groups now come through, and the winning continues. Can you put your finger on it?
Well, we've been there 5 times. We lost the Gateway also in
Oh, that's right.
2019. Yes, 2019.
So 5-7, yeah.
Yeah. So that one actually hurts. I thought we had that game. I don't know what the secret sauce is. I do think it's a bunch of different things. We do have kids here, just like St. Clair, Bethel Park, Mount Lebanon. We're in the same area. It's a very good school. I think that consistency is one thing that if, just looking at it, to have a head coach here for 10 years is unique, a football coach. To have our middle school program together, they would go play 12 and 13-year-old football, and then maybe in 8th grade. Sometimes they'd have an 8th grade team, sometimes not. But I think we hit lightning with extremely good administration, very supportive. We had a bunch of really good kids come in as freshmen my first year. Josh Casilli, Aiden Williams, just a bunch of guys that were really good football players. We've had a bunch of quarterbacks. You need to have a good quarterback. But we have great athletic director. But I just think we have a lot of support. We got a bunch of good coaches together, and everyone's been extremely positive and just pushing this in the right direction. We've got lucky a couple times. We really have, but I think you need that as well, and you need good people around you, and I think we have that.
Well, the one aspect of this district championship thing that I always feel bad for the coaches, not so much for the players because they can squeeze out another day of celebration, but you guys win the championship late Saturday night, get home late, I'm sure, hard to get to sleep because of the excitement and the adrenaline. And yet the first thing probably you do when you wake up the next morning is not continue to celebrate. It's, start to find stuff as you prepare for the PIAA 5A semifinals, and defending champion Bishop McDevitt, the District 3 champions, coming up next. It's a quick turnaround. You've already begun the process. What say you about this Crusader squad?
I haven't watched as much film as I would have liked to watch so far. Usually I'm more into this, dealing with all the other logistics about with it being Thanksgiving, like practice time, when custodians can be here. And I just got a text from my AD about if we do win, like what's that week look like the following week, state championship game. But no, the Bishop McDevitt, I've seen them the last couple of years on film against some other teams. Talented. They're a boundaryless school in the middle of Pennsylvania. They eat up a lot of kids all around that area. So, they're going to have some really good ball players. I know they lost the quarterback from last year, but they got a really nice run game, good running back, and they're deep at each position. So it'll be and I know they gave they were able to beat Pine last year, something that we could not do last year. So it's going to be it should be a heck of a game.
Your defense will be tested, but thus far your defense has passed all the tests. They have been tremendous, to say the least, and especially in the second half when you guys fought back, took the lead, and hold on to win the program's second WPIAL championship. TJ, we appreciate the time. Get to work. I know you have a lot of it. We appreciate you taking some time to join us. I think everybody in this neck of the woods, it's not just a community thing now. A lot of people rooting for the Indians as you guys try to win a PIAA state championship. Wish you nothing but the best, pal.
No, I appreciate you having me on, and we'll do everything we can to bring it home.
TJ Plack, head coach of the WPIAL champion Peters Township Indians. I think he likes the sound of that. We appreciate him joining us. Thanks to our good friends at Edgar Snyder for sponsoring. Thanks to Chris Lackner, our producer. I'm Don Rebel. Thank you for joining us. We are on to the state playoffs here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.